willing to entertain that affidavit. I was concentrating on my stuff, my affidavit, and my annexures, because it's going back for many years now. Because I have a paper trail on everything. I didn't want to go and
Yeah.
frustrate myself with these.
Because I think you told me in our consultation that we had, the brief one, that you know that he was tortured, and so you didn't read his affidavit because you assume that the affidavit was made, or whatever he said is under duress.
100%, Counsel.
Okay. So the reason why I asked you whether you had seen his affidavit is that if you do take the time to do that, maybe you should, before your various trials come up. He makes allegations against a lot of people, and a lot of important people. And he makes allegations about the Louis Vuitton bags. You've seen that?
No,
sorry, you haven't seen it. And you'll also see, if one goes through the list of 70-odd accused, and especially the natural persons, in the big case, the 335 case, he also makes allegations against them. So I think you should read it, especially if the state intends to call him as a witness. He, as we know, he's been prosecuted, and he's a convicted criminal.
It's the first time I'm hearing that he is convicted.
You don't know he's in jail?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Have you pleaded in any of these cases?
No.
So these cases, you don't know how far they are with investigating them, whether they're ripe for trial or anything like that.
From my last appearance 2 days ago, Advocate Shabalala puts on record that he is postponing the matter, reason being on the outcome of my High Court application. Because the High Court application has merits on all these baby cases and the 335 that he has brought back on the roll.
Okay. Now, I'm going to not ask you any questions in relation to any of these cases, because it seems to me to be a pointless exercise, given that we can't ask you about the merits of these cases. So I'm going to give you an opportunity, and then I'm going to end my questioning, to perhaps try and summarize the conduct of the various officials that you complain of, and perhaps with the prosecutor in this case, in all these cases, Mr. Shabalala.
It's fine. Can I go
Yes.
ahead? Can I start at the beginning, Counsel? Right? And then I can run you down to how you obtained 3 warrants, executed at different times, how he lied to the judge, he perjured himself. I have all. Can I?
Yeah, but I wouldn't. Obviously, I ask questions and
Okay. Can I?
speak subject to the direction of the Honourable Chair. But we need to restrict you to summarize the conduct of each one: Baluchan, Perumal, Shabalala, Low, because that is at I think you conceded that, not conceded, but you said that at the beginning, when we summarized these matters, that's at the heart of your complaint, is that these 4 officers have made your life and your family's life a hell, isn't it?
Yes.
And I think you characterize it.
And the other
summarize
accused.
it as, yeah. So maybe just briefly on each one.
Okay. After the case was struck off the roll in 2021, 2022 February, 7th of February, Baluchan, Perumal, Shabalala, and the same magistrate signed a warrant There was 3 warrants. 143 of 1 2022, 144 of 1 2022, 145 of 1 2022. Council, you must remember all of these warrants were signed on the same day by the same magistrate, same prosecutor, same IO, right? The first warrant was executed on the 7th of February 2022. I was then taken to Palm Ridge Magistrates Court, but on the warrant of arrest it says, take me to Court 16, Pretoria Magistrates Court. They rather decided to take us to Palm Ridge Magistrates Court, which is 95 kilometers away from Silverton, right? I was detained with others. On the 25th of March 2022, I was released on bail, right? On the 4th of June 2022, Beluchan and the team, it's the same people we're talking about now, Perumal, Beluchan, Shabalala. On the 4th of June 2022, they're outside my house. Happy anniversary. Because the initial arrest of the big case truck of the roll, they arrested us on the 4th of June. It was a Saturday. And when I got to the station, there was many other people there. That was on case 145. While processing me, he said, keep your bags packed up. I'm coming for you next week. Monday, getting bail. I got out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, on my way to sign my bail, under my bail conditions. I get a call that they're outside my house again, executing the next warrant, 144. So that is abuse of power. Why did they not execute these warrants at the same time on the 7th of February?
That is 144 different to the charges in the
Same charge, just different case number. Same day, everything is the same, just the case numbers changes. Same magistrate, same prosecutor, same IO. Now, when
from the big
yes,
35 case,
yes. Now,
where you had already been arrested and appeared in court
yes,
on those charges.
yes, and the case got struck off the roll. Right now, on my bail application in 143, when they first arrested me on the 7th of February, right, in Palm Ridge, right? Magistrate Fenter refused my bail. I then did application in the High Court. Judge Musa asked Shabalala, the transcripts are here, is there any other pending cases against Chetty? He said no, but he rather had 2 warrants of arrest in his back pocket. That is what he did. And also put in mind that while again detained with Ramanjulam, we are still applying for our bail at the High Court. They arrested him again whilst in prison. So that's why Ramanjulam abandoned his bail at Randburg. We're sharing the same cell, so I knew everything that he's doing. And yet to abandon the bail at Randburg, they brought him back to prison, and then Judge Musa says, no, he needs to sort the bail out in Randburg before coming to him. So I got out on bail, and he didn't. Now, after my arrest, the last arrest on 145 from those 3 cases, I then opened 12 of 7 in July. And then I filed papers at the High Court. That is a duplication of charges. In retaliation, Beluchan called me the next year's day, it's there, and he said that me and others must appear at the NPA building for a string of SARS matters that he has opened. But at the same token, earlier that year, SARS sent me a letter or correspondence stating that they're doing an audit, and I appointed a tax practitioner. So I was complying with SARS. So I was confused now. What's going on here? by this guy opening so many cases against us. And this is done at the NPA office, and there's no SARS official. But I'm complying with SARS on the other hand. At that time, Beluchan told me that I should remove my case, withdraw my case 12 of 7. That's when he told me to. Then I refused. It was just him, his colleague Ayanda, and I just refused. And I walked out of the office. There are many cases that he opened, the SARS matters. That is still in 2022. 2023, when I sent General Masamula the letter about his appointment, that's when retaliation came again. They arrested me again. But this time, the warrant is signed by Paul Lowe, right? But prior to that, on the 15th of February 2022, the investigating officer, Mr. Sriangule, called Mr. Shabalala to obtain a warning statement. And the following morning, Shabalala calls the investigating officer and says, General Sabia says you don't have to come and collect the warning statement. Only to find out, which I was told after I got arrested, Paulo, I don't know, it's Matthew Sasoko, had a meeting with General Sabia regarding my case and obtaining the warning statement or proceeding with that case against this IDEC team. I didn't understand at that time what's going on because after I got out of prison, General Sabia told me that. This is what happened.
Sabia.
Yes, Sabia. And he told me that. So then, when I got arrested, Sergeant Beluchan and the team puts an affidavit that I want to kill them again. Him and the team. And they just did this to silence me. Because in his affidavit, he states that I'm complaining to media houses and I'm complaining to the National Commissioner and Parliament. All my complaints are there. Complaining about them and nobody attended to me.
Yeah, your complaints is at paragraph 5.3 on page 16, where you reference your complaints to the National Commissioner, the Portfolio Committee on Police. I think that was when the late Timothy Peterson was still in jail back then.
Yes, and
Also then the Hawks, the Director of Priority Crimes, that's severe.
no, General Sabia was the head of organized crime at that time. He was the head of organized crime.
So you do, and the conduct that you've described in the few minutes that you. Sorry, my microphone is off. Sorry, Chair, I didn't realize my mic. Should I repeat my So the conduct that you describe, Mr. Chetty, is also referenced at paragraph 4.21 on page 13, where you say the conduct of Perumal, Beluchan, and Shabalala leaves much to be desired. I am being portrayed as a perpetual offender with numerous cases pending before the courts. I submit that the pending cases amount to one case, which stems from the investigations and or contents derived from Silverton case 335/5/2020, and all this was done to spite me, and at the time it was on 1 June 2022. And since 1 June 2022, you say that this is continued.
Yes, Counsel.
But when you've been arrested and you appeared before the courts in various matters, the relevant certificates and warrants of arrest, did you see them? Were they shown to you? did they at least appear to you to be warrants? Did they appear to be authentic?
Counsel, when we first got arrested on 143 of 2022 and taken to Palmbridge, my counsel did bring it to Mr. Venter's attention, the magistrate, that this merit is coming from a case struck of the roll, and we are not supposed to be in this court. We're supposed to be in court 16 in Pretoria. And Magistrate Venter looked past it. He looked past it. He didn't entertain it.
So is that your, what specifically is your complaint against, you reference Judge Musa, Magistrate Venter, and I think one other magistrate also.
Right.
Is it, do your claims against them, is it because they ignored what you were saying, didn't take into account what you were saying?
No, firstly, Judge Musa, what I'm not complaining about, I'm saying that he asked Shabalala, that asked him if there's any other pending cases against me, and Shabalala lied and said, no, there's nothing, but he actually had 2 other warrants in his back pocket. Right? Magistrate Venter, he's the one that opposed my bail in February when we appeared there the 7th. Right? On baseless allegations stating that I want to kill the team. On Beluchan's 3rd supplementary, I was there on a fraud matter, but on his 3rd supplementary, he says, now I want to kill him and the team. Right. Magistrate Venter entertains it. We move on to our bail relaxation, which happened last year. After Magistrate Venter has opposed my bail, we were then moved to a different court. Right? And I requested for bail relaxation. And the magistrate said then, submit your documents to Advocate Shabalala, and I will get everything, and we will sort it out. In the new court where I'm attending now. I never seen Mr. Venter after my bail was opposed. Never seen him again. Last year, after filing documents up and down, maybe it was on 4 occasions, sometimes Mr. Shabalala does not appear on the relaxation matter. We then go to the specific court. I think it's Magistrate Keswa. It's in here. And she then says, no, go to another court. The advocate and I goes to this other court, and amazingly, I'm standing in front of Mr. Venter again. I then tell my advocate, no, this is the magistrate opposed my bail. So we can't stand in front of him because he made his mind up already. And we then put an application for him to be removed.
So are you saying that a magistrate who refuses you bail, normally there'll be a bail hearing, did you get an opportunity to give evidence or for your counsel to make submissions, and the prosecutor would also make submissions or sometimes lead witnesses, and then the magistrate would make a decision?
Now we're talking about initially.
Yes.
Mr. Venter. The whole application was done in front of him, and then he declined to give me bail.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So you say in another bail hearing he must be recused?
The relaxation of my...
Whether it's the relaxation, which is even, which is not a denial, but just a relaxation of the conditions, that he should be recused.
On his behavior and the basis that I have on why he opposed my bail, I then spoke to my counsel and said, you know, this magistrate is not going to entertain anything regarding my bail relaxation. Because I'm signing 3 times a week. And if I have to leave the province, I need to inform the IO, which most of the time he gives me a problem, so I just stopped asking him. And when going back to Mr. Venter, the transcripts will talk for itself, whereby he says that he already made his decision on refusing to step down before hearing our arguments. And that's when I then told my counsel to abandon the bail, because he says it on record. There's no need for hearing of arguments. My judgment is made. So that's when I told my counsel, please, let's just abandon the bail.
And your other complaints against any other magistrate or presiding officer?
This is specifically on Palm Ridge. Other magistrates, Advocate Shabalala just goes with the charge sheet and he just bombards any court. Counsel, I know you don't have a lot of time, but if you can see that a lot of times he keeps a charge sheet with him. A lot of times me appearing in court, there's no charge sheet. We sometimes wait for 2 hours, 3 hours. He says he needs to go and collect it from his office. Only for me to understand recently that the charge sheet is supposed to be staying at the court. So this is normality for him. This is normality for
Are
him.
you, in all these hearings, are you represented by counsel?
Yes.
So what does your counsel say about this conduct?
This is totally abuse of power. And that's why my counsel has put the application in. And regarding my application, it was put in 2022 on the removal of these matters. In 2023, this is when we supplemented it, only to find out in 2024, early 2024, the supplementary has been deleted off case line. Right? We then uploaded it again, added the annexures. Last year, Shabalala responds to the supplementary affidavit, but when we appeared at the court in June, was it last year? The Shabalala and the council of the MPA says that our supplementary and our annexures has been deleted. So one asks, how did Shabalala then respond to my supplementary and annexures when it's deleted? Because his affidavit is there, responding to our supplementary. But when getting to court, they tell the judge that there's no supplementary or nor the annexures.
Okay. Now, we know that the big case, the 335 case, Silverton case, that case has now been re-enrolled. And there was a decision to re-enroll the case. Is that because the racketeering certificate has now been authorized or issued, which wasn't the case initially?
Okay. Counsel, the case was struck off the roll 25th March 2021.
Yes.
The basis, the state needed more time to obtain a racketeering certificate, right? From my understanding, the state could not get a racketeering certificate. That's when they opened the baby cases, 143, 44, 45. They then realized that we found out what they did. Was it the end of July? We then received a J175 to appear in Pretoria Magistrates Court. The summons is attached, the J175 is attached to my annexures. Right?
Yeah.
We then appeared at court and they gave us a CD with the summons. But this time, it's no more 655 pages, which was initial, it's now 450 pages. So it's common sense that they took the charges from that original case, they took out those charges and they opened the baby cases. Now that's why the case being brought on the roll is less now, the documents are less. But now,
What are you saying, that the baby cases collectively or together make up the same number of
Charges.
pages or charges as 335?
100%. And there's proof here. Now, when the case was struck off the roll,
Now, how do we, as a committee, determine that that is irregular or unlawful or, as you describe it, irrational?
the magistrate gave an order with 342A.
This is not.
Yeah.
I would expect. I don't know, but I would expect this to be part of your argument in the High Court, where your application is pending to have these charges
Yes.
set aside.
You know, Counsel, I'm not here to prove my innocence. I'm not here. I'm here to show the abuse of power from IDEC, the NPA, the SAPS, the judiciary, whereby I have proof of how does one bring 42 people to court and you're not even on the court register. We're not on the court register. It's attached. The court register is attached on the day. I requested for transcripts from the transcriber on the day. It's attached there. I then go to the clerk of the court and request return of service and so forth on the J175, on that case being brought back. Up to date, nothing. The summons that we received, I approached the government printing works in Vasahi Street. They referred me to a deputy director. His name is in there. The email is attached. Whereby I went with the summons and he told me this thing has been superseded in 2014. Meaning, it's no longer valid. The summons we received, there's no signature on it. There's no signature. There's no charge. Just to put it, Counsel, this summons was drafted out at a Protea Hotel. I attached the location sent to me by Nico Williams. It was sent to me, and I went to go and collect the summons because the first time they wrote the summons out, they had a problem. So they asked me to come back. He sent me his location, and he's busy sitting with a stamp from the court, right? And stamping J175s in Protea Hotel in Hatfield. It's Protea Hotel, yes. And whatever I'm saying here, Counsel, my attachments are there. So me and everyone else is appearing for this 335 case, actually illegally, where we're not even on the court books. And I personally, it's not getting from a third person. A lot of this information, I've done it myself over the years. So it's not anybody throwing documents under the table or anything like that.
Yeah.
If you can see the summons that I went to Vasahi Street, there is a paper trail. If the committee wants to go and have a look and request government printing works to come, they're going to tell you the same thing as the guy sat with me and showed me on the system. The summons has been superseded in 2014. In Pretoria Magistrates Court, in other courts, the summons that we received is outdated.
Tell me, I'm looking at the section of your affidavit which deals with, it's on page 51, paragraph 11.1, SARS Financial Institution, and that's Silverton 353/11/2022. Does that relate to the charges of tax fraud?
Yes. That specific case that I opened, I then went, after my arrest for the SARS matter, after these guys called me to the NPA office and signing these warning statements for these SARS matters, I then went back to General Sabia's office. I didn't see him personally, but I saw one of the colonels or brigadiers there, and he told me he will send an investigating officer to come and take my statement, which he did. I then received a message the next day with the case number of this SARS matter, and I am aware that this case of 353 has been investigated deeply already by the investigating officer. Me as a complainant, she has told me everything that is, or most of the things that is transpired in this specific case now. But she has blockages at IPAD. Blockages because she has been going to Eastern Cape doing investigations, and as she's getting momentum, she has been stopped by IPAD, by her seniors, stating that there's no budget to go to the Eastern Cape.
The matter that's before the High Court, that matter was taken there on the 19th of March 2024.
Page number?
Page 58, paragraph 12.10. And that matter was struck off the roll for a second time by Madam Justice Newkircher for a second time. So as I would again assume that it was struck off the roll because of a lack of urgency, but the matter, has it been re-enrolled? Have your lawyers put it back on the roll?
Now, counsel, this matter that you're referring to has to do with my AFU matter.
Or the asset forfeiture?
Yes.
It's a different matter.
But it emanates from...
Although it's related.
It emanates from 335 of 5/2020, just as I'm telling you about the summons that we received. And we were brought to court illegally, right? Right. So what Sergeant Baruchan and the team does, his affidavit is there. He uses a different court case number to go and apply for this AFU order on a rule nisi. His affidavit is there where he misleads the judge completely, he lies. He gets the order. Fast forward, we go to court, the matter is struck off the roll. When the matter was struck off the roll, the curator, Mr. Sean Williams, was supposed to release our assets. And I'm not talking about mine alone, we're many in this case. Under correction now, I'm not on the right page. The case was struck off the roll 3 times, if more. I have an email here from Advocate Wilson, who works with Advocate Shabalala, Low, and I will explain that later on, that he sent an email to the curator stating that he is aware that the curator is in possession of all our assets illegally, because the case has been struck off the roll. And he's willing to keep our assets until the case is back on the roll, reinstated. Now, one can see here that once the case is struck off the roll and the system, let's call it the system, IDAC, these guys, don't get away. But the next week the case is back on the roll under urgent. They still don't get away. They still get struck off the roll. They do it again and again. Now, this is completely abuse of power, whereby the curator is appointed by the master's office. He's not appointed by the NPA. I've been to the master's office. Unfortunately, I didn't attach so much information here. My records is at the master's office. And counsel, just to put it on record, when I approached the master's office, they said, yes, this is illegal. So I asked them, what is the remedy? My assets are frozen. I have nowhere to go. They're telling me I should go to the High Court myself and do an application. What knowledge have I got to do an application at the court now for what I'm telling them? Because they were aware now that, and they even took the documents from me of the fake summons. We didn't actually appear in court. The application was made to the AFU to court with a different court case number, which is not appearing initially. But where I'm getting at, the Mr. Wilson tells Mr. Wilson and Nicole Peters, because she works with the IDAC at the AFU, tells the curator they're aware that he has our assets illegally. Yeah?
Is that the complaint that your dad lodged originally?
It has to do with the same curator.
Yes.
It has to do something. I didn't even read
so
my
that
dad's.
was originally the complaint that he lodged. Yeah.
Now, my main thing is when it's abuse of power shows with the NPA and the curator, whereby Mr. Wilson took instructions from Mr. Williams took instructions from Wilson, stating that, we know you got these things illegally, basically, but keep it until we bring back the case on the roll. So they carry on putting the case back on the roll until they get what they want to reinstate the rule, Nisi. The court orders are there, it speaks for itself.
But Mr. Chetty, you are legally represented in all of these
Yes.
matters.
Counsel, the system, I have proof. If you want, you can take me by my hand.
Too much for your legal counsel.
No, you can take me by my hand. The members can take me by my hand. And all of Gentleman Gonazi's allegations, whatever his briefing is, I can physically take you and show you what is going on. And I'm not representing myself here. There's many people behind me, and also people have died. There's people in 335 that have died because of this abuse of power by Beluchan, Perumal, Shabalala.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chetty. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I was going to speak standing. So at least the microphone is now on. When you say you have no further questions, Advocate, do you mean you have come to the end of presentation of evidence
Yes, sir.
along the thematic areas that you have prepared?
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you so much. Mr. Chetty, you have 20 minutes before we break. Can I check with you if there is anything that you think you want to bring to the attention of this committee? The senior counsel has done what he felt was relevant for the work of the committee. And if there is anything that you think is also relevant in your own accord to the work of this committee, you can share with us. And if you are satisfied with the manner in which evidence was led, you can just say, look, Chairperson and honorable members, I think we have presented what was meant for this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. Right. In May 2021, James Ramanjulam opened a case against Sergeant Beluchan and Dylan Perumal. 97/5/2021. There is a warrant of arrest against Sergeant Beluchan. Now, if we go back to the date, 2021, this was all in retaliation to arrest James, Ramanjulam, and others. But now again, let's go back to 97/5/2021. A warrant officer went to go and execute the warrant in East London. Polo, Richard Tyler Shabalala, Perumal, Brigadier Titiwe, think it's in his statement, the ex-provincial commissioner of Eastern Cape promised that Baluchan will hand himself over the Monday morning. Up to date, he has never appeared in court on this warrant of arrest. Now we're going back to 2021. What happened from there? We got arrested, I got arrested, and a lot of things has happened from then. So we go to 2023. I went to the magistrate's court, and then I went to the clerk of the court and I queried this case number. And they came back to me and said that the warrant is still valid on Sunil Baluchan. I said, okay. I then went back to Pretoria West police station. And the station commander was not there. I requested to see someone that can assist me with this case, only to find out this case has been undetected. And there's a duplicate docket open now. So I was confused now because I'm aware there's a warrant of arrest that's there, and now there's a duplicate docket on the same case, 97 of 5/2021. I went back to the magistrate's court on one of my appearances because I'm often appearing there on these different cases. And I asked, like, what is going on here? This was, I think, late 2023 with this specific case, because now I'm aware there's a warrant of arrest and now the case is closed as undetected. So I asked myself a question, doesn't this play with the statistics of the records of the SAPS? Someone then came to me when I appeared at court and they gave me a letter signed by Nico Williams that collected the docket from DPP's office. The same docket, 97 of 5/2021. The letter is in my annexures. He took the docket and went to go and give it to Sergeant Baluchan, who is the suspect and is in possession of his own warrant now. Now, I did bring this to the attention of IPID. I did bring it to the attention of IPID, and the investigating officers are aware of it. Now, Nico Williams came from Eastern Cape, who is one of the team members of this IDEC team. He arrested me many times. He takes the case to Zwelicha and its attention to Brigadier Perumal, who resigned from the police in 2020. So this docket of 97 of 5/2021, instead of it being in Pretoria West, it's in Zwelicha and it's in the hands of Sergeant Baluchan. Now, this case is from 2021, on May. How many arrests has Baluchan made, having his own warrant of arrest with him? He arrested senior politicians. I've watched on TV, I was shocked. The same team again. And recently, I've seen on news how he arrested General Kumalo. But I asked myself a question. Now, this guy is untouchable. He has a warrant of arrest where he's in possession of, right? But he's busy arresting people and taking them to the same court where he must appear.
You mean his own...
Warrant of arrest. It's J50.
So he must arrest himself?
No, he got a docket with himself, so nobody can arrest him. He sent Nico Williams. The letter is here, where Nico went to collect it.
So what you are saying is that a warrant of arrest has been issued, and because he's the one who receives those warrants, he's keeping it with himself.
100% sure.
So let's say, so that we do an illustration for people to, if Honorable Ngola is the one who approves warrants, or he makes a decision that I must be arrested. And then when he has signed, and then for the warrants to be executed, they are sent to my office. And I'm one of those people whose warrants have been signed for execution. And then I keep my warrant, but I may release the warrants of other people. They get arrested and I don't get arrested because I'm having my warrant with me.
100%.
Who signed the warrant?
Pretoria Magistrates Court.
Let me say, before the warrant went to his possession, who signed it?
Who signed?
The warrant, yeah.
Meaning the warrant was there, the arrest was there. Who signed for the docket to be taken to him? Nico Williams, who is part of this IDEC team. It's one of his close friends.
So if this committee has to ask questions, who is the authority that we must address our questions to? To say, we hear that you have signed this docket, and there is this warrant in the name of Lakhanyane that is out but is not being executed. Who is the person that the committee can write to?
Chairperson, the owner of those warrants.
My understanding is that when you share this information with us, you are sharing this information with us to say, in your terms of reference that you are investigating, there are these corrupt practices that I'm observing in the system. I understand you correctly? And you, maybe as Parliament or as a committee of Parliament, there is a way you can intervene. Is that correct?
Yes. Because
and so if we are to intervene, let's say we want to intervene, we want to write a letter for a written response to say, there is a witness who appeared before us. The witness has said the following. We want to know from you as the authorities. Do we write to the DPP? Who do we write to?
to write to the National Commissioner.
Maybe before you, let's hear the Honorable Ngola.
No, let me help, Chair.
Yeah.
I think part of what is important was Mr. Chetty is mentioning the magistrate who signed off the warrant of arrest. So the best way from where I'm seated is to write to the Magistrate Commission to communicate with the magistrate himself to confirm or corroborate whether he has signed a warrant of arrest in this name together with his name, so that we get that confirmation. Whenever we want to deliberate around it, we have got the evidence before us. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Yes, you heard
Chair.
what he said.
Yes, but from my view,
do you concur?
no, from my view, this warrant of arrest is there. It has been floating around all over social media. But unfortunately, from my understanding, you need the original warrant to execute a warrant, right? I did approach the police station where the warrant was approved. But on the system again, I'm showing you it's undetected. But here, there is actually a warrant of arrest. And this police station is aware that there's a warrant of arrest, but they is too scared.
Which is that police?
Police station, Pretoria West detectives.
And then who do you say is the relevant person there who can explain what you are saying?
The station commander should be aware of everything.
And who is that station commander?
I don't know who's the station commander. But the warrant of arrest is there, and he is in possession of his own warrant.
We had to, let's afford Honorable Ngola. Maybe he can be helpful.
Yeah, Chair, I think even in that instance, because he has the name of the police station, he has the name of he has the dates and all the necessary details. So we may probably need to write to the Provincial Commissioner to give us that information.
We write to the National Commissioner here.
Yes, we can.
He's the one who knows the people under his line of command or authority, who will then provide those details. You can proceed.
Chair, I think we didn't go through it. I first received, when I got arrested in February 2022, the 7th of February, nah? In August, September, I received the restraint order by Advocate Wilson, Beluchan, the same team now. We're not shying away from anyone, the same guys. That is in 2022. They gave me a restraint order, another AFU matter on items of mine. But then they gave me another AFU order, which was in 2023. And
Yeah.
again, it was duplicated.
When you say AFU, what do you mean? Because
Asset forfeiture unit.
oh, yeah.
So they froze my things twice, again duplication, by the same prosecutor, the same Advocate Wilson, the same people. These people are not shying away. They're not. It's not changing. The same people. And at this time, when I received my summons, the people that approached me was from the NPA with no number plates on their car. I sent a letter to the security at my estate. They said these people forced themselves entry. When receiving my summons, the sheriff, the lady that she says she's from the sheriff, gave me my documents, and I said, is there no receipt or must I sign? She said, no, you got yours, I got mine, bye.
So you want to say you were ill-treated?
No. I'm saying I was served the summons illegally, number one. Number two, it's the same.
Oh,
It's the same advocate, Mr. Wilson. And he called me directly asking if I received
you
the summons.
categorize it as unlawful action.
Yes. But now we're talking about the same team,
Yeah.
the same people.
Yeah. So, don't you think that such matters are matters that you must raise? Do they fall? Do they go together with the case that has been opened?
It is in my iPad case. It is
Yeah.
there, but only 2 days ago I get a call now from 2022 that it's with the investigating officer now. So up to 2 days ago I was still hanging in limbo, not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, I'm saying that we may not be the relevant forum where you raise those issues, because if they are with IPIT, it's a matter between you and your lawyer that when you appear before IPIT,
Yes.
you raise those issues for them to make the determination on the lawfulness or unlawfulness of the actions of those officers.
You see, Chairperson, I'm just here to show the abuse of power. Just court things that I'm sorting out. I will sort it out in
Yes.
court.
I agree. Let me tell you, because some of these issues now, they do not end with the currency of the ad hoc committee. Even after the lifespan of the ad hoc committee would have come to an end, you still have Honorable Cameron, who is a member of this committee, who is the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee of Police, that plays oversight. You have Honorable Ngola, who is a chairperson of the Portfolio Committee of Justice. So any citizen of this country can write to them as an oversight organ of Parliament and say, there are the following matters that I want to bring to your attention. And if you feel that they are not doing their work, you can still write to the office of the Speaker to say, I have gone to the Portfolio Committee, I've gone to Honorable Member so and so, I did not get the relief that I wanted. No, I feel that I must now write to your office as the Speaker of Parliament. Yes.
Yes, I understand.
Do you hear
Thank
what
you.
I'm saying?
I hear you.
Yeah. I'm saying that I'm giving you a chance so that when you leave here, if during the presentation of evidence between yourself and the evidence leader, you feel that there is something which would have fallen between the cracks, but you think must not escape these proceedings, you give us that information to say. Within your terms of reference, also look at the following. Yeah.
Yes, Chair.
You can proceed.
Where was I? Chair, you must just take it in consideration. I was arrested 5 times by the same prosecutor, the same investigating officer. And I'm not talking about me alone. We are many.
Yeah.
Same prosecutor, same investigating officer.
At Pretoria West.
First arrested in Silverton. The case got struck off the roll. Né? We went to Pretoria Magistrates Court. Then again, 143. It was 143, 144, 145. Same Magistrates Court, Pretoria. The first one, we were taken to Pambridge. But the J50 says, come to Pretoria Magistrates Court. They took us 95 kilometers away. The second one, after appearing in prison and then coming out on bail, he is executing it on the 4th of June, saying happy anniversary regarding the matter that was struck off the roll. While processing me, he says, keep your bags packed. He executes the next one, the following Friday. Is that not abuse of power? Being arrested so many times in a short notice, having these 3 warrants and not executing it at the same time, when there's the same charge, same prosecutor, same IO, same magistrate signed it on the same day. That's why I've been fighting. I've been sending letters everywhere. But no one has been assisting. Chairperson, I understand. You're saying write a letter. I've been writing. There's a paper trail of everything.
Did you write to them, the police and...
Yes, General Masamula, Andrea Johnson. I was amazed that Andrea Johnson knew my surname because she never responded to any of my complaints. But when she was here, she's talking about Chetty's allegations. But I'm like, wow, I didn't get no response from her. Yes, Shamila Batoy, she's aware of these cases.
Yeah.
You know, it's all there. It's everything is there.
I'm not the wisdom of this committee. Honorable members are going to interact with you when we come back. And obviously, if there are matters, there are no team matters that you present here. And members even go to an extent of suggesting how they think some of the matters should be processed. So I hope that all that you are presenting with us members are noting. We are going to allocate them time to ask questions. You will respond, and they will suggest on how they think your matters should be processed. Is there any other thing except your repeated arrest that you say repeated arrest by same people, and you view that as abuse of organizational authority?
Yes, Chairperson. And also, the courts, how they manipulate the courts by bringing public. It's obviously, this has been happening for a long time.
Yeah.
You're bringing people to court, but you're actually not on the court register. You're serving a summons which is fake. And in my view, it has not happened the first time. It's not happened the first time. It's just that I maybe found out and I just carried on digging, saying that there are many people appearing in court nowadays, and I don't even think that some of them should actually be in court. It's just abuse of power.
Okay. Do you have anything or further, Mr. Chetty? It's 1 o'clock now. The members may want to break. We are going to Parliament. We are going to come back at 5. Can you check? Can I check if the time I allocated you would have exhausted the matters that you wanted to raise with us?
No, it's fine. I'm fine. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, I'm coming back to you. We are going to come back to our proceedings at 5. We are going to resume at Good Hope Chambers. Let me see. How many of you will want to ask the witness questions? Okay, no, we have a reason to come back at 5. Because when we started, it was like you did not have questions. but now I see you have. Can I check, Honorable Ngola, what is the time that you suggest we must allocate to you?
5 minutes, Chair.
5
Thank you.
minutes?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. So it's only you from the ANC will be asking questions.
Only me, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. From MKP, I see Honorable Nomvalo and Honorable Skosana. 10 minutes. How many, Honorable Skosana? Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you so much for your resilience. I can see you have not been well for the past 2 days and you requested to go and consult. But you are showing your resilience. Yeah. How many minutes will you want? Honorable Skosan. And Honorable Nomvalo, you said 10. So the two of you combined is 40. Okay. Honorable Matthews,
30, Chair.
30 minutes, yeah. Bangazita,
15.
15. Okay. Honorable Sols,
30 minutes, Chairperson.
30. No. Look, there is nothing funny about it. Honorable Sols is very loyal to the committee decisions because the committee has said that each and every speaker will be allocated 30 minutes. So he's very loyal, unflinching to our committee decisions.
It says a maximum, Chair, of 30 minutes.
Eh?
It says a maximum of
Yeah,
30
he
minutes.
uses the maximum. He plays 90 minutes. Honorable Vessels, nothing. Not even a second. Okay. Honorable James,
5 minutes. Yes.
5 minutes. Okay. It means today we may be done around 7:30 or 8. So I will use the remainder of the time between the time you finish asking questions and 10 o'clock will be used by the chairperson. So that we stay true to our finishing time of 10 o'clock and 11. So you will be patient with me tonight if I engage the witness for 2 hours. And then, Bonani, may we just make sure that all the witnesses who are coming tomorrow, we confirm with the members today by close of business that we have been able to get all of them. Yeah. Thanks very much, Mr. Chetty. Thank you so much, Advocate Arense. Honorable members, we are now going to break. At 2 o'clock, we are expected to be at the dome. Is the dome? Yeah. For the business of the National Assembly. And once we are done, we will gather at the Good Hope Chambers for members to start engagements with the witness. Thank you so much. May we please stand up and leave the chamber.
Beautiful milk. It's what we're here for. We're going to be discussing milk and whole milk and how good it is, and how nourishing. And these people all come from beautiful farms. They have a wonderful life, and they're happier today than they would have been if we didn't sign this. So we'll be talking about that in a second. Will, could you read the first two items, and we're going to get going after that. And we'll be talking about a couple of things. We have some news on Iran, which we're going to talk about.
So shortly before you all came in, the President signed two executive actions. The first is the result of a Section 232 trade investigation into critical minerals supplies. What it does is it sets up a mechanism, a process by which the United States will seek to secure its international supply chain of critical minerals and critical mineral-derived products. The second is actually the result of another Section 232 trade investigation, this one into semiconductors. It sets up a two-phase process. Under the first phase, semiconductors that are imported into the United States of America that are not then used domestically to build out RAI or computing architecture here will be subject to a 25% tariff. So, for example, semiconductors that were transshipped through the United States to other foreign countries would be subject to that 25% tariff. But those are two executive actions that the President reviewed shortly before you all came in.
So they're going to sell chips, basically, and it's a chip. It's not the highest level, but it's a very good level. And China wants them, and other people want them, and we're going to be making 25% on the sale of those chips, basically. So we're allowing them to do it, but the United States is getting 25% of the chips in terms of the dollar value, and I think it's a very good deal, great deal. They're taking billions of dollars, and they've done a fantastic job. But it's not the Blackwell or the Rubin; those are the two top. But it's a very good chip, and people want it, and we think it's in our best interest to do. And we have some other little things to talk about. Maybe we'll start that first. Should I start that first? I think they're going to want me to. I have a feeling they're going to want me to. We have been notified, and pretty strongly, but we'll find out what that all means. But we've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopped, and it's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or an execution or executions. So I've been told that on good authority. We'll find out about it. I'm sure if it happens, we'll all be very upset, including you will be very upset. But that's just gotten to me, some information that the killing has stopped, that the executions have stopped. They're not going to have an execution, which a lot of people were talking about for the last couple of days. Today was going to be the day of execution. And another piece of information that I think is very important is the leaker has been found and is in jail right now. And that's the leaker on Venezuela. And a very bad leaker. So there could be some others, and we'll let you know about that. We're out on their trail. But the leaker has been found, and the leaker's in jail. And will probably be in jail for a long time. Let's see what happens. So we'll let you know. We'll keep you apprised as to what's going to happen with that. And I want to thank all of the incredible people behind me, political people, both Republicans and Democrats, because they like whole milk. Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, whole milk is, right? That's a great thing. The senator was in the office many years ago. It feels like many years ago, but quite a while ago, right at the beginning of my first term.
Yeah, with Elijah Cummings.
Right, with Elijah, a very good person. You and I had a good relationship with him. At that time, I think you were a congressman, and you've made a lot of progress. You've done very well.
Some would disagree.
No, I don't disagree. I think you did a great job. But it's great to have you here again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So today I'm delighted to sign the Whole Milk for Healthy Kids Act into law, which is a very important thing for our farmers, and I think maybe more important for our people, right? The people that drink milk. This is the first bill signing of the new year, and it will ensure that millions of school-aged children have access to high-quality milk as we make America healthy again. I want to thank Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins, who's behind me, Secretary of Health and Human Services Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Senators John Boozman and Mike Crapo, Roger Marshall, Peter Welch, as well as Representative G.T. Thompson and Tim Wahlberg, all great people. Also with us today is USDA National Nutrition Advisor Dr. Ben Carson, my friend for a long time. We went head to head, and it was not easy going head to head with Ben. He's great. He still looks good. That's because he drinks a lot of milk. And some of our nation's wonderful dairy farmers and their children. They're going to be farmers for a long time, we hope. As it currently stands, schools participating in the National School Lunch Program are only able to offer students low or non-fat milk options. That was changed during the Obama administration, and a lot of people disagreed with it at the time. With this legislation, schools will finally be able to expand their offerings to include nutritious whole milk. It's actually a legal definition, whole milk, and it's whole with a W for those of you that have a problem. Most of the media will get that. This is the perfect follow-up to the new Real Food Pyramid, and Secretary Kennedy and Secretary Rollins announced that last week. You probably heard. This legislation also allows parents to directly request a substitute for milk for children with dairy intolerance. Previously, parents were required to submit a written statement from a doctor, but we're eliminating that rather ridiculous policy, allowing parents to choose what is best for their child, which is a big move. Hard to believe that that would be a big thing, but it is. And of course, these changes will be major victories for the American dairy farmers, who we love and who voted for me in great numbers, I will say. I think I got every one of them. In December, I also signed the Secure Rural Schools Reauthorization Act, and I'm proud to say that these two pieces of legislation will give school-age children across the country the resources and support that they need, not just to succeed, but really to thrive in life and later on in life. So I want to ask Secretary Rollins to say a few things, and then I'd like to ask Secretary Kennedy and Dr. Carson. I'd also like to hear from these great political leaders, senators, congressmen, if they'd like to say something. I'd be honored. So, Brooke, do you want to start?
Yes, sir. Thank you. And what a joy and an honor it is to be here. I feel like I have the best job in the world with representing all of these farmers. And Mr. President, not in our lifetime, has been a president who loves and supports our farmers more, and certainly the dairy farmers. I want to thank all of our farmers here today, sir. Most of them are 5th and 6th generation. They represent states from all across our country, and bringing the children to and seeing what the next generation of dairy farmers looks like. The amazing thing is some of these farmers back here from Butler, Pennsylvania, he milks.
Where?
Butler, Pennsylvania.
I love Butler. I do.
Yeah, and they love you. They love you. But he milks about 40 to 60 cows. And then we have Jamie from Wisconsin, who milks about 5,000 cows. So they represent all across the spectrum.
Wow.
And what this means. And I think it's important to note that in the last year, your support for these American farmers, for rural America, the One Big Beautiful bill was the largest investment in rural America in history. I think that's important to note. The trade, and I see my friend Jamison Greer over there and Howard Lutnick on this end, we've opened up more than 24 different markets. Milk exports, dairy exports are up 23% just in the last year. And when you think about the ag deficit that happened under Joe Biden and the 4 years, we went from a surplus of agriculture products when we left the first time to a $50 billion deficit when we came back.
Yep.
So these are massive, massive wins for America, and I think it's important to note that. I also want to note, and you said it as well, that over a decade ago, Michelle Obama, in this very room, made an announcement on a short-sighted campaign to ditch whole milk in schools, and that's what we're working to fix today. Last week, Bobby Kennedy and Ben Carson and Dr. Oz and the whole crew, sir, announced the Dietary Guidelines for Americans 2025 to 2030, which also reintroduced full-fat dairy into a healthy diet. And today, by signing this bill, Senator Marshall and Congressman Thompson and both, all the wonderful men to the right who worked so hard on this, Peter Welsh, it is a bipartisan issue, and understanding where we are in this country and how important the health of certainly our children are is so important. USDA is posting today the guidance. So we're signing the bill, and USDA, we're moving at Trump time, is posting today the new rulemaking that is necessary to get whole milk back into school lunches. So that's a really, really big deal.
So how long will that take?
It should just take a few weeks, and then the milk starts moving in. So it's a big announcement, sir, for our schools and our children. And I know Secretary Kennedy will talk a little bit about the health issues, so I won't do that. I'll skip over that. You mentioned, and the last thing I'll say, I know we're here to sign the bill on whole milk, but Senator Crapo's work and our wonderful friend Doug LaMalfa, who we lost way too soon,
Right.
their work on securing Rural Schools Reauthorization Act, how important that too is for rural America. 700 eligible rural counties across the nation are now guaranteed funds for schools and roads and infrastructure. So, sir, you say it all the time. Those are your people. They voted for you and with us and saw your vision from the beginning. This is who we're here to support today, in addition to the whole milk for healthy schools, which will help all children. Just remember, eat real food and drink whole milk. What a joy again it is to be here, and I especially want to thank all of our incredible farmers for what you do. So, sir, with that, I'll turn it over to Secretary Kennedy.
And just before you do that, how are we doing with food prices, bringing them down?
Yes, sir. Well, I'm glad you asked, because I brought a chart, and that just happened to be right behind me. So, speaking of milk, milk is actually way down, and I know we're here to talk about that today. Obviously,
44%?
That's right, sir.
44% down. Milk, 44% down.
Eggs is way down. Milk is way down. This is just since we took office, sir. Fresh whole chicken down 2%, cheese down, tomatoes down, butter down. Of course, eggs are way down. Potatoes down almost 3%, fresh fruits down almost 3%. But this is just the beginning. And as we continue to bring the cost of farming down, bring the cost of inputs down, open up the markets, support our farmers, we'll see even more affordability moving forward.
And eggs are down 31%, so that's really something. Where's Bobby?
Bobby's right here.
Right here, Mr. President.
Go ahead, wherever you are. Go ahead. We like Bobby.
And I want to echo what Brooke said about finally having a president that sees the alignment between farm prosperity,
That's right.
good food policy, and the health of our children. These are common sense associations. Democrats have been talking about them for eons. Republicans have been talking about them. We finally have a president that is implementing these policies and getting real food to our children. Today, President Trump signs the Whole Milk for Healthy Kids Act of 2025, a long overdue correction to the school nutrition policy that puts children's health first. For years, Washington treated fat, especially saturated fat, as the enemy. It made a war on saturated fat. This is the peacetime president. He's made it 8.5 deals ending wars, and he's also ended the war on saturated fat. As a result, whole and 2% milk disappeared from school menus, even though science has never shown that whole milk harms children. Evidence increasingly shows the opposite. The panoply of nutrients in whole milk is critical to brain development and physical development in our children. Whole and 2% milk provide 13 essential ingredients critical for growth, development, immune system function, and overall health, including protein, calcium, vitamin D, and healthy fats. Yet since these milk options were removed more than a decade ago, school milk consumption and meal participation have declined dramatically. Today, between 68% and 94% of school-age boys and girls fail to meet recommended dairy intake, according to federal guidelines. When schools limit milk choices, the kids do not move to healthier substitutes. They move to caffeinated drinks, to sugar drinks, and to sweetened beverages with little or no nutritional value and the potential to wreak havoc on metabolic health, which is driving the chronic disease epidemic in our country. During the same period that whole milk was regulated out of lunchroom, rates of childhood obesity and diabetes rose significantly. Removing whole milk did not improve health, it damaged it. Thanks to President Trump's leadership, this law fixes that mistake. It allows schools in the National School Lunch Program to offer whole reduced fat, low fat, or fat-free, flavored or unflavored, organic or conventional. It restores choice to schools, parents, and students and encourages consumption of nutrient-dense foods that kids will actually drink. The law also removes unnecessary bureaucracy by allowing parents or legal guardians to request milk substitutes without the necessity of involving a doctor. And it corrects a flawed technical rule by excluding fluid milk from saturated fat calculations that distorted school menus. Milk fat is not junk food. Treating it that way undermined nutrition and ignored the science. Last week, Secretary Rollins and I unveiled President Trump's new food pyramid and updated our dietary guidelines with a clear message: eat real food. This law puts that principle into action. As Secretary of Health and Human Services, I support this reform because it aligns federal policy with evidence-based nutrition, not ideology or dogma. Healthy kids need real food. They need real protein. They need healthy fats, and they need policies grounded in reality and the science. I want to thank President Trump again for his vision, for signing this bill, for continuing to put children's health first. This is exactly the kind of practical change that will make America healthy again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. We have some milk here. It's been sitting here for 5 days, so it's from the original bottle, and I brought it so the press can have some. You can swing it all out of it. Remember the old days when we were kids, everybody shared a bottle? Today we tend not to do that, but if you'd like to, if you trust the person that you're drinking after, it's right here. It's yours, okay? It's semi-fresh, 5-6 days old. Thank you. So Ben Carson, special man, knows a lot about health. He looks better than ever, so Ben, how about it?
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for being interested in the health of the people. It's made a big difference in facilitating an atmosphere where the agencies can work together. Secretary Rollins, Secretary Kennedy, Marty McCary, Dr. Oz, the whole group, every week at least meeting once to talk about these things, and it's made a big difference. And I want to thank the dairy farmers. I know you guys have been in the doghouse for a little while. You're out of the doghouse as of today.
Yes, sir.
And, whole milk is a wonderful beverage. Good protein. We talk about real food. It is real food. Healthy fats, important nutrients. You look at vitamin D, you look at calcium, phosphorus, the things that are absolutely essential for bone development and for teeth. But as a neurosurgeon, the thing I really like is what the brain, what it does for the brain. Right. The brain starts to develop right after conception and adds millions of neurons every single day. Continues to do that right up until the mid to late 20s. Now, it's important what that brain is getting during the development. Is it getting soda? Or is it getting milk?
So milk would help your cognitive ability.
Absolutely. You can tell who's been
Take
drinking
a cognitive test. I've taken a lot of them. I've aced every one of them because I drink milk.
It's good for it, and it shows.
Do you consider there to be a big difference in taste between what you are having and this is just, it just looks so good sitting there, right?
Yes, sir.
It looks better. Tastes thick. Go ahead, Ben. Sorry to interrupt you.
When you go to school and you give the kids milk, real milk, they love it. When you pour this stuff that looks like, dish pan water, you don't particularly want that. It doesn't taste good either. So this is a great day. It's only a part of what's happening with our emphasis on health. Our longevity has been going down. In other industrialized nations, it's been going up. It's because we haven't been paying attention to this. That has changed, and we want to thank you for your leadership.
Well, thank you very much, Ben. Appreciate it. Appreciate all you've done, too, for the country. I'd like to ask a few of our senators to say a couple of words. Maybe we should start with the Democrat in our midst. What do you think?
Peter Welch.
How about Peter Welch? And,
Yeah.
thank you very much for being here, Peter.
No, thank you. You know, our dairy farmers are so vitally important, and they have a way of life that transmits from one generation to another, and it's tougher than ever for our dairy farmers in Vermont, our dairy farmers in Pennsylvania and others, South Carolina, or here. But they're the lifeblood of the community. Nobody works harder, and nobody does things that are better for our nutrition. And also for our kids, I'm in agreement. The kids having access to healthy milk is good milk, whole milk, is really good for them. And one of the things that I get very excited about, that really the Vermont farmers talked about, is they have their milk from their farm that then goes directly to many of our schools. And then kids come out to the farms and start seeing how milk is made, what farming is about. That's good for America. It's not a party deal. This has been a bipartisan effort. I appreciate working with my colleague, Senator Marshall, who did a great job, and GT when I was in the House. And Tim, thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you,
President.
Peter. It's got to be like a 90-10 issue, another one of those 90-10s. It's good to have you on our side. But it's a great issue, and it's a great thing to do, and we're very proud of it. We're very proud of our farmers. Senator, do you want to say a few words?
Sure, I'll be very brief. We all want to see you sign this bill. But I really appreciate you and Brooke bringing up the Secure Rural Schools legislation. This is critical legislation to our rural communities across this country, and we have to fight every couple of years to get it extended just a couple of years. And this extension we got this year went back to pick up a few years that we missed and is going to expire again at the end of the next year. And Mr. President and Secretary, I'm going to encourage us to get back in here to sign a Secure Rural Schools bill that is permanent. I want to set a goal, or hope that you'll set a goal with me to get that done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody? Please,
Mr. President. Yeah, Mr. President, thank you so much for having us here. On behalf of Kansas dairy farmers, thank you. Milk is the most wholesome, nutritious drink known to humankind. Not only is it full of essential nutrients, it's full of healthy fats as well as protein. As Dr. Carson pointed out, those healthy fats are what helps that brain develop and help you absorb the fat-soluble vitamins. The protein is why you drink milk and you're not hungry again in 30 minutes. And I have to point out that under the previous couple administrations ago, thanks to them, we have a whole generation of young adults who have osteopenia and osteoporosis because they never drank milk for an entire generation. So getting milk back in the schools is going to give us healthy bones and healthy minds. It sticks to your ribs, and it tastes great. Thanks for your leadership. Yes, sir, Mr. President. Thank you.
Anybody? Politically first, and then we're going to go to the farmers.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Mr. President, thank you so much. I want to ask Dr. Carson if there's an age limit on the cognitive ability. Drinking a whole lot more of this.
Yeah, exactly.
But thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We literally have legislators here that have worked on this for years. This is something that's been very, very difficult. You're able to help us
You
get
would
it
think
over
it would have been very easy, actually.
Exactly, but you were able to help us get it over the finish line. You and your great team, Brooke, all of these people have done such a good job, not only with this issue, but all that we're doing for the farm community, which is so very important. So thank you very, very much. And I know that you're going to continue to support farmers like you have.
We do, right from the
since
beginning.
you were elected. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Mr. President, G.T. Thompson,
Yep.
Chairman of the House Agriculture Committee. I have been working on this bill for 15 years, and thank you.
That's amazing.
Because of your support and your leadership, we were able to get this across the line.
It's such a shame that it would be so hard.
Common sense was lost, and in the benefits today go to those precious children that we see over there. It goes to our dairy farm families who work so hard 7 days a week. There's no day off for a dairy farmer. And quite frankly, our rural communities who, when the misguided move to take whole milk and 2% milk and flavor out of the schools, we lost a generation, probably 2 generations of milk drinkers And it devastated those rural communities because you lose the dairy farms, then you lose all the supplies, businesses, and then you lose grocery stores, and you lose community pharmacies. Well, that day ends today with your signature. We reverse that trend and we build a robust rural economy. And I'll just close with what will be the theme of my next bumper sticker, whole milk heals.
Amen. That's right. That's what they say. I think it's probably true. Anybody else?
Well, Mr. President, as Chairman of the Education and Workforce Committee, this fits, with the kids, with what they can enjoy in school and grow from. Also to have G.T. Thompson, the sponsor of the bill, on that committee, and I think I've worked with you for 15 years, but we finally got it done in committee. This makes an impact for education, for our workforce, the health that's there, and the reality of what this farming industry does. I live in the most diverse farm district in Michigan. Thanks for coming to Michigan yesterday.
Yeah, it was great.
And my kids were raised on, it's legal now, raw milk, taken right out of the bulk tank. And my oldest son became a Pulitzer-nominated journalist for the Chicago Tribune, and I think the milk did it, right? Then I have the benefit of Dr. Carson being a graduate of Andrews University in my district. So all of that goes together. Thank you for signing this. It'll make a difference.
Great job. So how about a couple of the farmers? Would anybody like to speak? Would you like to? Do you want to just say how great milk is?
It's so amazing.
Yes, Mr. President, we want to say thank you for doing this. It's been stated several times how long this took, and so thank you for your support and leadership in finally making this happen. As a mom and a dairy farmer, this isn't just a big win for the dairy farm families across the country, but as it's been said, the millions of school-aged kids that depend on school lunches for their nutrition and to fuel their bodies. So thank you.
So they've been fighting this for years then, huh?
15 years.
Well, have
Before
you been
these
fighting
kids.
it? You're too young to be fighting it. Have you been fighting it for that long?
For a while, we've been fighting it. I mean, I think I speak for everybody. It's been a long time coming, so your leadership is it.
Well, it's great. I had no idea. It just seems to make sense, right? It's hard to believe. When you said 15 years, I said, you have to be kidding. It's government is tough. Government can be very tough. How about you? Would you like to say something?
So we are very grateful and thankful that you passed this bill because it is common sense as to what we should be consuming. Whole foods and whole milk. Unfortunately,